Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's well. It's sunny outside, which makes a change here in Wales. But yeah, good afternoon. Has everyone had a good week so far? Well, it's only Monday, isn't it? Well, it's been a long day. Can you hear me? And obviously, more importantly, can you hear Louise?
Can you hear me?
I'm very casual, Louise, with that off-the-shoulder hoodie you got there.
It's not supposed to be off the shoulder. It's your hoodie. I pinched it out your wardrobe this morning.
You did.
It's a bit big. I was in a rush.
Good. Everyone okay? Thank you, Jill. Thank you so much for that. Loud and clear. Louise too. Thank you, Amco. Good, good. Oh, do you know what? Mondays are always busy. Everyone thinks that as we're closed in the shop that, well, we just dilly-dolly, we just shilly-shally, we
Day off,
and we don't do anything, and we come in late, and we put our feet up. Oh, that's not right, is it?
No, what have you done there,
I don't know what I've done. I've done something wrong.
What's going on? Come on then, I better fix it, hadn't I?
Yeah.
That better?
Yeah, thank you. I don't know what happened there, actually. Anyway, if I hit that again, what's going to happen? Oh, there we go. We're still okay. Good. Yes. So we just don't stop. So we got a few announcements to make. Two announcements today. You may have seen on Instagram, and if you haven't, please follow us on Instagram, that Louise and I are doing the Cardiff Half Marathon next month. Is it the 8th or the 6th? It's the 6th of October, Sunday the 6th of October.
How many weeks have we got?
7 weeks. And it's catching up quick now. It was like 26 weeks to go, 25, 24, thinking plenty of time, and then suddenly now it's 7 weeks. The training's going well, isn't it? Yes? Okay, good.
Yes, some days I feel like great about it.
Yes.
Some days I feel...
hang on, laptop, that's not the right one. That's the one.
Hey! It's the Louise Berry Show!
What's happening there? Oh, what's going on today? What if I do that? No, I do that. I don't know. Oh, take that. You have to take that slide off, Lou. You have to put the other one back on.
Hang on, what am I doing? Sorry, you've made me laugh now. Hang on. Can we just have this?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, some days I feel really, because we've been following a training plan.
Yes.
Some days, yes.
Yes.
It's a good run. Other days, and I think that is just the way, isn't it? So other runners have told me, some days you have a good run, some days you have a terrible run, and then it doesn't matter because then the next time you probably have a good run again.
Yes.
So just take the rough with the smooth and just do your best, I guess, is all you can do with it. But I think you're enjoying it more than me, but I'm training more than you. I'm training in the week. You're just doing the long run on a Sunday.
Yes.
But I've been running for a couple of years.
Yes.
But very short distances, nothing like a half marathon, which is 21 kilometres. So what's that in miles?
It's 13 miles. No, yeah, 13 miles, 13 and an eighth.
Yeah. So please sponsor us if you can. We're running in aid of the Silversmiths and Jewellers charity. Yes. Which is a UK-based charity which helps jewellers and or the widows who've fallen onto hard times. So you can find out more about that. They're linked into our Instagram posts that we put on earlier today. So please do sponsor us if you can, because I'll just feel so much more motivated to do it if I have some sponsors, to be honest. And I'll feel like you guys are all behind me and running with me, which would be lovely.
So the next thing is,
Louise,
how do we sponsor?
Hang on, because I just had to fix your... Oh, what's going on here now? Here we are. Please sponsor us, because will keep me motivated. Yes.
So yeah, we're just asking for a nice, simple £500.
And hey, on the same day, if you're a runner, or if you just want to walk, perhaps you could do a sponsored run or walk too, whatever distance
you want to
do. I don't know if we can add you to our team, or...
I've no idea.
Yeah, well, get in touch with me if you want to do something, not necessarily, I think the half marathon is full now, the Cardiff half.
Yeah,
But just, you could do something in your own area. Just
around
do
the park, in your
let
garden,
me know if you want to do anything,
on the treadmill, anything like that.
Yeah.
So down in the...
So join us, I don't know, remotely. Yeah, it'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So down in the... I've got to see which way this comes up now. Is it that way? Or is it that way?
Cardiff.
No, it's that way. There we go. So down in the chat, down there, sorry. Down in the chat down there, it's atb.yt/run. And that will take you to the Just Giving page that the Silversmiths charity have set up. And that is what we're doing. I think our longest run so far has been 15 kilometres. But Louise is trying something different. She's trying running differently this time, aren't you?
You make it sound silly.
Like this. So we're trying something different just to get us to last. Because 15k, and we're not necessarily running it in under 2.
15k nearly finished me. That was the day I just wanted to cry. And I don't know, I think it's just time of day, what you eat before you go out, all that kind of stuff as well affects you, doesn't it?
Yes, we've been experimenting with leaving off the wine, haven't we, the night before?
Yeah.
And eating and drinking plenty of fluids.
Eating more protein in the week, we've been trying to do that as well.
Yeah, eating plenty of fish, all that sort of thing. So so if you want to sponsor us, the shortcut is atb.yt/run. And that'll take you to the Just Giving page. If you can give £1, £2, £5, we would absolutely love it. And obviously we'll give you all shout outs if you sponsor. So that's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd love that.
And then the other news we got is that we just sent out an email to all At The Bench members. We are going to be returning with HS Walsh this year at the Jewellery Show. Different venue this time, bigger, more central. It's in Olympia. It was in Olympia just before COVID, but since COVID it was in the XL, a little bit out of the way, but now Olympia is far more central, and that's where we're going to be. 1st and 2nd of September. Louise has a slide.
Oh.
Madeira.
Okay, is this going to send everything a bit skew-whiff again though?
No, we're fine now. There we go.
Right, there we are.
So there we go. So we are exhibiting. We are with HS Walsh and Sons on stand D30. Louise and I will be there on hand.
Oh my gosh! Somebody sponsored us £50. Thank you, thank you so much. Anonymous donator. We love you to bits. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry for interrupting you, Andrew.
It's fine. So that's where we are. You can take that off now, Louise, if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I got excited.
Ooh, good.
How do we do
that? That's it. Okay. Yeah, cool. My slides are up the Swanee. So yeah, we are. Thank you very much for your anonymous sponsor. Really, really do appreciate it. We have been training for a long time for this. Just want to build up, not trying to run 21 kilometres in a couple of weeks, so no, but thank you. We're at Olympia this year, D30, the stand D30, 1st and 2nd of September. If you are in the trade, you can go. The registration is really awkward. You have to have proof of a trade. So whether that be a business card, whether that be website, you fill in all the details, it's free, you get your registration, you get your badge, you turn up on the day, make sure you have some photo ID as well when you arrive, because sometimes they ask for that, and come and see Louise and myself. D30 HS Walsh stand. It's bigger, brighter and better than last year. We're on hand to have a chat, come and say hello. We got a little monitor working, we may have some little freebies to give away. Just come along and say hello. There's going to be demonstrations from the needle flame from Adrian. Elements GB. So Louise is going to be demonstrating that because she's been genning up on that and playing around with that. I'll be on the GRS side of things. I'm trying to get some setting done so like we can do some nice sort of like micro setting and fishtail. I don't think so, but castle setting, we're going to be having a go with that. But yeah, come along, or demonstrations with Orion welders, the laser engraving as well. So it proves, it was last year was really good. It was lovely to meet everybody who turned up. Not everyone can come, admittedly, it's in central London, but the 1st and 2nd of September, if you can make it, we would love to see you. Wouldn't we, Louise?
We really would.
Okay, and on that note, shall we have our first question?
Yes, you've got to do your, it's Monday.
It is Monday. It's the 19th of August.
Of August, yes, sorry, we were just talking about October.
Time for our Q&A. Louise, can we have our first question, my dear?
Yes, Helena's saying, how are your adventures in Argentium?
It's coming along.
Shall I go and get my thing?
Coming along, what thing's that?
My thing that you gave me this morning.
I gave you the finger this morning, didn't I?
Shall I get it?
Go on,
because it's so cool. Yeah, I had. Tell the guys about the problem I had on.
Okay, I'll knock you on mute.
When
I will. Tell him, Andrew. Tell him, Andrew. I will, Louise. On Friday, Louise was doing her. She's been experimenting with Argentium really more than me. So she's been experimenting. She's coming up with she's got a little sketchbook. She designs in it. She sketches it. How about doing this? How about doing that? Brilliant. And she has a go, which is absolutely fabulous. Coming up with nice, simple ideas, but obviously using the fusing aspects of Argentium. And she had a bit of a disaster with her gravity feint, a bit of slumping, soldering a ring, and it slumped. So, like every good husband likes to treat their wife, I gave Louise a finger.
Ceramic finger?
It's a ceramic finger on a base. So now, you can put the ring on it, size K to Z plus 2, I think it is, the size. And now you can put the ring on the finger and it will support the ring so it won't slump.
Is it ceramic or is it?
It's ceramic.
Is it? It doesn't look ceramic.
It is ceramic. It is ceramic. You do not drop it, it'll break.
Okay. So if because what was I doing when it slumped?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
So if I had my Argentium band on here.
Yes.
And because what I did was make some divots.
Yeah.
To fuse some balls.
Yes.
So this will prevent.
Yes.
The ring from collapsing.
Yes.
You've still got to remember that you've got to leave it for a moment before you take it off. Because that was the other thing I did. I did something and it fused and I was so excited. I picked it up immediately and it fell apart. So then I had to
fuse it back
and then
together.
I got really stressed and I picked up the other end and I burnt my hand and there was a lot of swearing and fell on the floor and there was like a black mark now on the floor and it was so yeah. Anyway.
So yes, let me have that. Let me give it a close up. Thank you. So it is a ceramic finger. Let's come out on that particular camera so we can see what's what. Come on, out.
Oh, the sound's gone.
On.
Oh, I said all that then and I didn't have my mic. You turned me off.
I did, sorry.
Okay.
Louise will have to go through it all over again. Yeah, so it's a ceramic finger. Ceramic, it reflects the heat. So Louise, I'm going to pass this back to you.
I can't remember what I said now. It was brilliant though. I made a ring and it slumped basically.
Yes, you did.
I wanted to make some divots for the balls to sit in because I thought perhaps they won't roll around as much.
Yeah.
They do still roll around a little bit, but if you've made some divots, they
pretty much stay where
they just sit up. For me, I just like the way it looks. And you're telling me that this will stop the shank from collapsing? Because
there's no way it can collapse because it has the ring is supported all the way around. Yes.
Yeah, but you have got to be very careful not to remove it off the finger before it's
completely cooled.
Cooled, or just cooled enough, I suppose, isn't it? Because that was the other problem I had Friday. I was so chuffed that I'd managed to fuse something. It was a flat band I was fusing things onto, and I picked it up, and of course it just fell apart because that's what it wants to do. Yeah, and then I tried to pick up the other underburnt finger and dropped it, and then we had a black mark on the floor where it broke the floor.
It's funny you have it now.
Oh, yep, there you are. Thank you, Andrew. So that was my little present.
Little present today.
Happy with that.
Which is all right, isn't it? And yeah, it supports the ring so it doesn't slump. You can hold the ring in a third hand, but as there is always a gap, the ring isn't supported, so the Argentium will always slump. So that's great. It's ceramic, it reflects the heat as opposed to absorbs it, and it's great. Just put them on the store. So if you want to go and buy them, just go onto the store, scroll down, it's on recent products we just added. And we also got the titanium cross-lock tweezers in stock, straight nose and bent nose as well. They're in stock today as well if you want to go and buy them. I know somebody was asking last week, when are we getting them in stock? I said it won't be for a while, but we managed to get them in stock a little bit sooner than what we expected. So go and grab them if you want to, and go and grab yourself a finger.
So yeah, that's how the Argentium's going. Helena asked how that's how the Argentium's going, Helena. Okay, shall I find another question? Oh, Judy's got a question about the jewellery show. Yes. I'm not a professional jeweller, but would love to go. I filled out the application and ticked professional jeweller.
Is there any more?
I think they ask you for a business card.
Yeah. Website.
So, yeah, but if you haven't
Instagram.
got a website, then
Instagram.
Not everyone's got a website, have they?
No.
But if you've got a business, I mean, Vistaprint do business cards, don't they? Shouldn't say Vistaprint because we're not supposed to be. Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can knock
just
them up
anywhere like
knock
that.
Up on Canva.
Yeah, and you can have them delivered within a week.
Or just knock one up on Canva.
I mean, I'm not saying that's all you need to.
No.
Apply for a ticket, but I think they do ask.
You need
do they ask for a business card?
You need driver's license or passport as well.
Well, not everyone's got them.
No, but that's your means of identification to get in.
Yeah, I guess.
So yeah, and you can always make up your business card on Canva and have a digital business card. I've done that in the past and upload that picture.
Oh, that's a good idea. I know I've seen people do that, and I think it's awful flash with their phones when they.
Oh, that sort of thing as well.
Yeah,
like,
and you can just that's my QR code. Oh, and I lose business cards. I put them in my bag, and then I might not.
Pile of them.
I
in my
know
drawer.
you've got to file through them then.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I got a funny feeling there was more to the question because it's gone ... But I can't find it.
Can you click the dots?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, Judy. If there's more, please pop it in the chat, and we'll.
Yes.
Dermot is saying, what is the best portable soldering extractor that you know, please?
Fordham do one. It is purely like a white cowl that will go perhaps behind polishing motor, or you can put it on your bench, perhaps turn it sideways, and there's an extractor behind that. So that I think would be the best type. I don't know how much. I haven't got one. I have had one to play around with a few years back. It's by Fordham. If you want to go and check them out. I don't think it's cheap, but then if it's extracting, there's a motor in it, and I think that'll be just right for you. So yeah, Fordham make one. Yes, Lou.
Good. Stuart says, what are those sticky sticks you use to pick up gemstones? Forgotten the name, and can you buy them, or can you make your own?
So yes, I call them boogie sticks because they look like you've picked your nose quite a few times, got a nice little mound, and they're quite called boogie sticks.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. You can buy them. We sell them.
Do you call them that, or is the other people in the trade call them that?
I think it's not a known.
Is that a common thing or an Andrew thing?
I don't know, but I've got a boogie stick here. This is something you can. Oh, sugar me. Okay, so we sell them in the store. They're called pickup tools. We sell them blue one, and it's medium. It's only a few pounds. Nice and simple. The end is tacky. It'll pick up the stones. Or you can make your own. If you've got those little baby bells with the red wax outers, the red wax is a little bit too sticky. What you can do is get then some charcoal. If you've got a charcoal block or got some charcoal sticks, scrape off some of the dust, and you can mix that up then with the wax. Alternatively, you can get some beeswax beeswax in here, yes. You can get some beeswax, as we've got here. This is a strip of beeswax. You can buy it most places. And you can get that beeswax, mold it in your fingers, mix it up with a little bit of charcoal dust again, and you can make up something like that, which I call a little boogie stick. It's not a bit of plastic. Just mold the ends, make it a little bit soft, and now you can use that then to pick up stones. I happen to have a bag of stones by here. So yeah, you can come along and you can get your stone and you can pick it up just like that. Okay, so yes, make your own, or we do sell them in the store. Yes, Lou.
Good. James says, hi, have you tried casting argentium yet? We haven't.
We haven't yet. We haven't got enough yet. Scrap to go plain.
I've got a bag of scrap argentium.
Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, perhaps we'll have a go then.
Okay. Yes, apparently it's a good one to cast, according to Amaki. Yeah.
Yes.
Casts nicely. Donald says, how can you tell the titanium from normal tweezers?
On the back of the tweezers, it is engraved titanium. It's as simple as that. Plus, they're a lot lighter than the steel ones. They are a little bit more of a matte grey finish as opposed to the standard steel ones. We sell them in the store. We've got a close-up on the rear of them and it says titanium. And that's your dead giveaway. And they're very light as well. And they're not as springy as the steel ones as well. So they're ideal for holding like your argentium posts, which is what I did in the argentium workshop when Marky was here. Yes, Louise.
Okay. Joe says, did you use the ceramic finger for fusing or soldering the ends of the ring together? I didn't, but I should have, because...
We've only had that today.
That would have been handy last week, because even though I soldered it, I overheated it slightly, and that's when it slumped. That was just because I'd not soldered. Have I? I can't remember, but yeah, that would have been really useful, and I think it's because I've made a few bits in argentium now, and I think, oh well, I know argentium and I know how to use it and know what it's going to do, and maybe I got a little bit complacent. And that's why I overheated it, because I was soldering and not fusing, and then... Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Susan HB. Hi, Susan. We haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Andrew recently purchased a Unimat precision lathe at a thrift store. Any project ideas?
Unimat, very nice. I've got myself an old watchmaker's lathe upstairs that I have used occasionally. It's great for turning, and I think I've just really only used it for turning wax rings. And also it's great for turning waxes to put channels down the middle, and you can send them off then and get them cast, or you can lost wax them yourself. I haven't done any metal turning with it. I do like a lathe. I used a wooden lathe when I was in uni, and it is great. I don't know what else you can really use it for. Just use your imagination. Use it for making up. If you had like brass tubing, you could turn down the brass tubing and then lathe it and cut it off and make little brass rings that you can practice your stone setting in, I suppose. And you can use that, drill into it, practice fishtail setting, castle setting, parve setting, that sort of thing. And I said I'd done it with wax, to turn different shapes in wax, turn little cylinders, little cone shapes. I don't know what else you can use it for, to be honest, but I'm sure there's lots of things that you can look for. I must say, I do like Wendy Ramshaw. If you search for Wendy Ramshaw, she was a jeweller. I'm not quite sure whether she's still going, but she's done some amazing sort of like stacking rings with the rings have got grooves in them, and she's put enamel, whether it be a cold enamel or obviously a hot enamel, in the grooves and then turn them, and they look really, really cool. She's done them in gold, and then she's also used the lathe to make little stands to stand them on as well, with nice sort of cone-shaped tops. So yeah, search Wendy Ramshaw, and there's some great ideas for lovely sort of ideas for rings there as well. Yes, Lou.
Good. Shelley says a little bit of blue tack works really well for the boogie stick. I use I've got a narrow beeswax stick. It's like a pencil sort of, maybe a bit.
The one downstairs is
like
red.
A crayon.
Red.
No, no, the clear one in the clear sleeve.
Yeah, beeswax.
Yeah, I use beeswax on my saw, and that doubles up really well as a
boogie stick.
Yeah, it's a bit big, but yeah. Cool. Stephen says bingo on the boogie. Great question. Helen says plasti tack and a crocodile stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Will the titanium pliers be non-magnetic?
Correct.
Good.
Yes.
Can you draw down argentium? Barbara would like to know. I want 1.3 mil wire, but can only buy 1.5 mil wire. Yeah,
argentium is really good for drawing down. It works the same way as sterling, but better. Because it's softer, you will find that the drawing capability of argentium is going to be really good. It should be a lot easier. You should be able to draw it down easier than sterling because it's a lot softer, and likewise when you come to roll it, you can still roll it down. Works the same way. You can anneal it, but don't forget, if you are annealing it and you've got a coil of wire, do not take it too hot because it may slump all the wire. If you make it into a bundle, all the wires may slump. So perhaps I would advise to just make it into a circle when you want to anneal it, like one strand, and lay it on your block so it doesn't slump too much. So don't draw down too much in one go. Otherwise you may find it'll slump when you warm it up. But yeah, it works really, really well. Yes, Lou.
Okay, Pauline is saying, I watched your great video on how to sew and solder silver wire bangles. It makes perfect sense, but I'm still having problems getting a perfectly flush joint. Am I missing something?
Got to make sure that the bangles and the bangle wire are nicely annealed, because if they're not annealed and they're quite hard, you may find that as you come to solder it, the metal will relax and perhaps open up slightly because the tension will be taken out of the metal. So make sure that the wire is nicely annealed. If you've annealed it and then bent it round into shape, perhaps once you've done that, anneal it again to make sure the metal is nice and soft. It does depend on how thick the bangle is. If you can position it together, moving it a little bit, moving a little bit, moving a little bit, it's very difficult then if you have a bit of a gap in it to put it upon your bench peg to cut through. So you should really need to file it nice and flush when it comes together. And as long as you do that and you can put it up onto a soldering block like this, it should be nice and easy. And then also when you come to, let me just zoom in on this a little bit more, there we go. And then when you come to solder, have I got a bangle or anything under here that I can show you? No, I don't. But I'll show you with this little bangle that we got by here. So basically what you would do, you would make sure that the ends come together, and you would move it, you would maneuver it, you would maneuver it, make sure then that you anneal it, and then make sure that the ends come together absolutely perfect. And then the advantage is that if this should happen to move this way or that way, you can just push it down with your tweezers, knowing that your block is nice and flat. Or you can come along and just squeeze that joint with your tweezers when the solder is molten, and it should pull the joints back into place. But it is important to come along and just get that join looking perfect across this way, that way as well, and then anneal it. It may move, but come back and just move it back into position and try again. Because you've soldered a bangle recently, haven't you, Lou?
It wasn't a wire, it was more of I did a wide D shape.
Yeah.
And a narrow D shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I managed okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I overlapped, didn't I, and then pulled it back, especially on the wider one.
Yes. Yeah. You can get the, I shall show you now a second. I got them over here. This was in my parcel of goodies last week. You can buy these mitre jigs overhead. You can buy these mitre jigs like this, and you undo these. I'm going to take out the wrapping to show you. We're waiting for these to come in the store at the moment. This was a sample sent to us by a manufacturer. Oh, it's greasy. So yeah, you undo the screws here. With this one, it's a 90 degree and a 45. We've also got ones with 90, 45 and a 30, 60. But the idea is then you separate that, you put your metal through, you clamp it down, and now you can get a perfectly 90 degree edge on that. You can do that on both edges. When they come together, they should meet perfectly. These aren't in the store yet. We're waiting for a delivery from a manufacturer for that to come through. But yeah, these are really good. You can buy some that are really, really, really expensive. I think we sell them for about 30 to 40 pounds. But as I said, we don't have them in stock. I've only got this one at the moment here. But they are really good. Mitre jigs. This is a 90 and 45, but as you can get 90, 45 degree and a 30, 60 as well. So they're a great idea just for getting the ends nice and 90 degree. So when the ends come round, they should be nice and flush. Yes, Lou?
Good. Helena is saying, are there fine titanium pliers for jewellers?
Are there?
Fine titanium pliers.
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 Pliers. I don't know. I've never seen titanium pliers, to be honest. I don't know whether they're going to have the same properties as steel ones. I don't know. I've never seen them actually. I've only ever seen titanium tweezers. So it might be worth having a look, but I don't know. I'm afraid. Perhaps the manufacturing method of them is not going to work. They may not be able to get a box joint, which is what these are called. So perhaps the manufacturing method of the pliers only applies to steel, perhaps. Perhaps you can't get the titanium to do box joints like that. Maybe. I don't know. Yes, Lou?
I think we're up to date with questions, unless I've missed some. Have I missed any questions, guys? I don't think we have we?
So don't forget, sponsor us.
Oh yeah, please do.
atb.yt/run, and that'll take you to our Just Giving page where Louise and I are doing our half marathon. And we're not running backwards, Amco. It's bad enough running forwards, isn't it? Let alone trying to run it backwards. I did have an idea, didn't I? I had an idea of making like a jeweler's bench and have it like over my shoulder.
Oh, don't make
and have a jeweler's bench in front,
Andrew.
and running like that with a jeweler's bench.
Do you not think it's hard enough without doing that?
I thought that'd be a really good idea, that, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be a good idea? Run with a jeweler's like.
Do you really want to do that?
Obviously not a wooden jeweler's bench, but you'd have like a bit of a cardboard jeweler's bench like that, wouldn't you?
Come on.
That'd be good.
No, I'm not running with you if you're going to do that.
Well, I thought it was a good idea anyway.
No. Do you have another question?
Tell me another question. Go on.
Okay, so Lena is saying, how do you join/solder a silver necklace that is either gold or rhodium plated with a pendant that is either gold or rhodium plated? Using a jump ring made of sterling silver, it may change the colour, oxidize before the rest of the necklace. How do you join/solder a silver necklace that is either gold or rhodium plated?
Okay.
So it's plated with a pendant that's either plated. If using a jump ring made of sterling, it may change colour before the rest of the necklace.
It may change colour. Well, if it does with the heat, you can always put it in your safety pickle, and that then will remove any oxides that are on the surface of that one little link. If you're joining a chain and it's rhodium plated, because the rhodium is bright, but it's a bit more of a grey colour, whereas sterling silver, when it's highly polished, is really bright and white. So there may be a slight difference when it comes to that. So if you are joining it, whether it be gold or gold filled or rhodium plated, you can still solder the jump ring without affecting the rest of the chain. Hold the jump ring in a third hand, or you can immerse the rest of the chain in some thermogel, so all you got poking out the top is the jump ring that you need to solder. It will discolour, it will oxidize, but pop into your safety pickle, whether you put it in there hot or wait till the jumping's cooled down and then put it in your safety pickle, and that then will get all the oxides off. It won't affect the gold, and it shouldn't affect the rhodium plate either. But what you've got to be careful of is that the heat doesn't get to the rhodium plate, because then you're going to have to try and get the old rhodium off the chain, and then you're into problems then with the plating on the chain, then there's no plating, then there's the jump ring, and so forth. So protect the rest of the chain with thermogel, and you should have no problems.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Stephen's saying, Louise, how are your weeks starting off? You two, any fun projects coming up? Well, I did start something today, didn't I?
You did.
I've got a cast setting, which is like a tapered bezel, or tapered bezel setting. Tapered bezel, yeah. So up until now, I've just soldered bezels on top of shanks. So I've decided to use the cast setting and basically build a shank around it. So I've had to contour the shoulders of the shank to fit around the tapered bezel. So there was that. All went quite well, apart from one side didn't solder. So what I did was opened it back up to just maybe recontour that side of the shoulder of the shank, which didn't solder properly. Problem was then, and you did tell me it would happen, and I don't know why I don't believe you. By the time I tapped it back round, the bezel became a little bit, only slightly distorted, just stretched into a little bit of an oval. So yeah, so I soldered the other shoulder back on. Then I noticed it was made into an oval. Then I had to recut the seat. So yeah, I'm back to kind of hopefully at a stage where I can set the stone. So I've got a lovely little lapis lazuli, which I'm going to set in it, and I'm going to just scatter some stars in, I think, 9-carat yellow gold into the shoulders.
Good.
Yeah.
And you're getting a nice little collection, aren't you now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's my project for the week, but they're the difficulties that I've had. So yeah, if you have to resolder, or if you're using a cast bezel in the same sort of way and you're putting it into a shank rather than soldering it on the top, be careful on the mandrel because it will stretch surprisingly easily.
Make sure the ring is round first, solder the ring, tap it round, make it round, then cut the section out for the bezel to go into it. And I think you've got a nice collection coming together, and because you've added your gold onto it, you have to get it hallmarked.
I know somebody wants to buy one of my rings, and this is the first
thing. That was really cool, wasn't it? You were so impressed.
I was so pleased, and it's not even the fact that, it's like we were saying yesterday, it's not the selling, is it? It's the fact that somebody wants to have it and wear it. I'm just absolutely so happy.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can't have it because I put gold on it, embellishments. It needs to be hallmarked. Definitely could have got away with it had it not been for the gold, because it would have been under 7.78 grams.
But now
the whole thing's over a gram, and I've got gold on it. I've got to hallmark it, and now she's got to wait. So yeah, but there we are. But so yeah, I was really pleased with that.
But I can't wait to see your pieces hallmarked with your hallmark on it, and I think that's going to be really cool, because you took advantage of the free registration with the assay office in Birmingham when we had Mary Brennan here, and you took advantage of that, and obviously loads of you also did as well, and I can't wait to see it. Have your pieces back with your name on it, post it on social media. Excellent, can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it? So yeah, Stephen, getting more technical, thank you. Yeah, I will, I'll keep challenging myself. Yeah, thank you, Barbara. Yeah, I'm really chuffed. So I just put it on Facebook, really, and somebody said, in fact somebody else said that she wanted to buy them both.
Wow, in demand now.
I know. So yeah, it's just fab. But I've worked hard on it all, though, haven't I?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's nice because yesterday we were at the Bargordon District Art Society's open day, because your dad is a prolific painter.
Yes.
And chatting to the people there, because they exhibit their pictures on the walls, and the public can go in and the public can buy a picture, and they put a little red dot on the picture, don't they? And a lot of them are really chuffed the fact that they're exhibiting, and then a lot of them then are really even more chuffed because someone thinks that their work is good enough and to buy and to put on their
Somebody
wall.
wants it.
And it's not necessarily the money that they are interested in, it's the recognition and the fact that their work is good enough to be put on someone's wall, or in this instance, put on someone's finger or around someone's neck.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's such a cool feeling. Yeah, so yeah, really pleased.
Really pleased for you as well.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Right, so Shelley says, I think someone asked how to remove a ring from the finger, the ceramic finger, when it gets stuck.
Wait till it cools.
I think Shelley said warm it up slightly. If it cools and it's stuck, you'll need to warm it gently.
Okay, so it expands
because
a bit.
things get stuck to your bench, don't they? And you have to, not your bench, your soldering block.
Yes.
And then you have to gently warm it up, and then
if there's flux on it, yes.
Yeah, which there will be. This is a bit wobbly in here. It doesn't matter, does it? Yeah, obviously not too much if it's Argentium, because you're going to have a problem when you try and take it off, because it'll
slump.
Yeah.
Yes. Reminds me of like a clanger's nose. Is it clangers? I don't understand why. It's like or Pinocchio. Yeah. Well, it doesn't fall off now because it is brittle.
All right, calm down. It's fine. It's fine. Right. Jane says, when texturing knot rings, is it best to texture first, then stamp, or saw shape first?
When texturing knot rings, as in knot rings per
Not
pendant?
N-O-T, not rings. When texturing rings?
Okay.
When texturing rings, is it best to texture first, then stamp, or saw shape first?
I think that, again, you've done this as well. If you texture it first, you can cut out to the precise shape, or you can stamp it out to the precise shape. If you cut it out to your precise shape first, or stamp it out, you've got a perfect shape. But now as soon as you start to texture it, and it depends on how you're going to texture it. If you use a ball peen hammer, you can put that nice little denty thing shapes in it. You can use a cross peen hammer, you can put nice little grooves in it. Anything that is going to be hit upon the metal is going to stretch it and is going to spread it. So even though you may cut out a perfect circle or cut out a perfect heart, by the time you've textured it, you may have hit towards the edge and it may have spread the metal out a bit, and it's not perfectly round or heart shape or whatever shape you wanted it. So in that case, I would texture it first, then cut it out. If you are simply texturing it with, say, a burr, so that's non-hammer or non-forceful, non-destructive, whatever you want to call it, that way, you can texture it that way. You can use a burr to do like a bark texture, you can swirl it round. So if you're distorting the metal by hitting, hammering it, putting it through the roller mill, always texture first, cut out after, but otherwise you can burnish it, you can get a burr, you can whatever, use a graver, that sort of thing, and you can do that before or after you've cut it out, because it's what's the word I'm trying to use? Yeah, you're not hitting it anyway. Yeah, that's what I think it is. Yeah, good.
Okay. Linda is saying, is there any other way to attach the chain and the pendant without soldering?
Yeah, someone's saying, I think Shay said about little split rings, which is another good way of joining the chain. I don't like split rings because the way they look and the way they are, and yes, you don't solder them, so the chain can be then undone, but that is another way of doing it.
It's incredibly useful, isn't it?
If need be. Yeah. Or if you can join it with a silver jump ring or a gold jump ring, and if you know somebody who has a laser or who has a PUK or an Orion welder, they can just put a little bit of a spark, a little bit of a dab of energy on that joint that will then fuse it, which then should not discolour the jump ring. But then you need to know somebody who has a PUK or an Orion welder or a laser welder. Yes, Lou?
Okay, Susan is saying, Andrew, I have a Victorian woven hair watch fob with gold fittings marked 1/10. Is that RGP 1/10%? Over here it's 1/20 RGP.
Yes, so it is a percentage of gold on top of the base metal. So for instance, if it's 1/10 and the metal is, for argument's sake, 1 millimeter, because I can't work out anything different at the moment. So if it's 1 millimeter.
So we're talking about rolled gold here.
From here, yeah.
Okay.
So basically 1/10 of that metal is going to be gold. Not the whole amount, but just a layer. So if that's 1/10, so that's 0.1 millimeter. So that's a layer upon the top and there's a layer on the bottom. So each layer is going to be roughly, 5/100ths of a millimeter thick upon top of there. And if it's 1/20.
Can we just explain the difference between a rolled gold and a gold plate?
Yeah, so a rolled gold.
Just in case.
So a rolled gold is a method of manufacture that has a layer of gold, a base metal, brass, whatever it would be, and then another layer of gold. They are fused together, and then the piece
like a sleeve,
is perhaps almost like a sleeve, like a
layer,
a thick blanket on top. It's passed through the roller mill, and this is sort of fused into the metal, so it isn't an actual physical piece of metal on the top. Whereas a gold plate is literally the metal is immersed in a solution and the piece is plated. The thickness of a plating is far thinner than a rolled gold piece of metal. So yes, so if it's 1/20 and you've got 1 millimeter, a 20th of that, say, thickness, for argument's sake, is going to be gold. So the lower the number, so if you have something that's 1/5, there's more gold in that piece than if you have 1/10 or 1/20.
So sometimes it'll say RG, RGP, which is rolled gold plate.
Yes.
Sometimes it'll just say rolled gold.
Yes.
And sometimes it will just say, like you say, the 1/10.
Yeah.
Or
yes. 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 So if someone comes into us and they're selling the gold, they're selling the scrap to us, it's very difficult for us to give an exact price. But if someone said it's 1/10, in theory, then the 1/10 of the piece is going to be gold. Again, there's no standard to say what that gold is. Usually it is 9 carat. So if somebody comes in with 1 gram of gold, 1/10 of that gram of gold, rolled gold, is going to be gold.
And they look great,
I just
they?
used that as an idea so you actually understand what we mean by
Oftentimes, until you look and see that mark on there, you would never know that it was.
Yeah, so we sell loads of rolled gold
When we
bangles.
get them in, we buy them because people love them. Because it's a cost-effective way to wear something which looks the same, but for considerably less.
Exactly. Yeah,
but
again, like everything else, the older the piece, the more likely it is for the edges to have worn. Again, we buy in and they're bangles, and the top of the surface is sort of, isn't it? It's like this. And what you'll find, these are facets, and what you'll find is that these edges, the tops here, all these edges, depending on the age of the piece, because they're facets and they are like this, you'll find that they've worn down, and you actually see the metal underneath because the plate has come off it. Yes.
Well, I know I'm jumping ahead, but it's a really good question. Pauline says, are rolled gold and gold filled the same? Because I think gold filled is an American.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know what the definition of gold filled is.
Yeah, I think it's a plated, isn't it? I don't think it's.
Finger mouse.
Gold filled.
Finger mouse. If he lifts a finger.
Gold filled is generally 1/20 gold and will eventually wear off over time.
So it is like a gold.
Is it a thick plating then?
Not with 1/20, no. So
Does anybody know?
So it is. It says 1/20 then, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it is 1/20 gold. Yeah.
So what's that plate?
It's going to be like a rolled gold.
All right, okay. But vermeil is a plating, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's another one there's lots of terms.
It has to be a certain thickness to be called.
And what thickness? What thickness?
Oh, why do you test me like this? 1/5000th of a millimeter, isn't it?
Let's have a look.
What is it?
Oh, here we are. This looks good. Gold plated, gold vermeil, I think is a thicker plating, gold filled. And then solid gold, obviously, is.
But that doesn't say, does it?
No, but the gold plated or gold vermeil, I'm assuming, would be hallmarked, or unless it's underweight,
Silver.
would be hallmarked. The base, the metal underneath the plating.
Yes.
If it's hallmarked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know what vermeil is, 5,000ths of a millimetre, something like that.
We can check. We can look it up.
Yeah.
They're the same. Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never seen the 1 over 10 stamp before.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see it on the roll gold pieces.
Yeah.
Quite a lot, don't we?
Yes. Yes. And Susan HP says, "What carat gold is it?" Again, there's no standard. So it could be 8 carat, it could be 5 carat.
We tend to treat them as costume, don't they? Because
we buy them in, don't we? So if a piece weighs 20 grams, we work out, well, 1/10 of that 20 grams is gold, so that's 2 grams of gold. Is it going to be 9 carat? You expect it is going to be 9 carat, but we always err on the slightly less than 9 carat to buy them in, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to be careful with them, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, how far did we get? Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Claire. Jane says, Louise, would love to see your ring project. How do you add the scattered gold on the shoulder? I'm planning on using the Durston star punch. Just cutter to cut some very small 9 carat gold embellishments, because they're like, what is that, 4 mil?
Yeah.
It's the smallest. It's really small. It's quite a wide band, and I'm probably just going to put 2 or 3 just onto the shoulders, either side of the bezel.
Yes.
So yeah, if it goes well, I will show you. Yeah, thank you.
So again, when you come to apply the embellishments on a curved band, your embellishments have to be curved.
I'm going to have to dome them on. I was thinking that earlier.
You use the shank bender.
Yes.
Or use the shank bender downstairs.
Do I put the ring into the... Do I put the ring... Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Claire says the ceramic finger reminds me of finger mouse.
Yes.
Yes.
Love finger mouse.
Sandra says, I'm starting to add some gold balls to some work. Is gold susceptible to fire scale? Can gold and silver go in the pickle together?
Yeah, you won't get any fire scale really on yellow gold. Red gold you will do because of the copper in it. It can both go in the pickle. What sometimes you may find is that you may need to polish up the gold balls a little bit just to bring back the colour. You've got to be careful if you're soldering the gold balls onto silver that the solder doesn't flow. If you use silver solder, you've got to be careful the silver solder doesn't flow and cover the gold balls. If it does, you have to get a little bit of emery paper just to remove the silver solder off the gold balls. If you are adding gold balls onto silver, personally I would add a little bit of gold solder instead of silver solder, because if the solder happens to spread onto the gold balls, it won't matter because it's gold solder. It's unlikely to spread too far onto the metal surface, like the silver surface, because the solder likes to stay between the two surfaces. So it's going to stay between as opposed to spread all over the piece. But yes, you can put it in the plate, in the pickle, you can do it exactly the same way, it won't make a difference. And if you are in the UK and you are adding gold to anything, if it is over 1 gram, even though it may be silver, if the whole piece is over 1 gram, you have to get it hallmarked. So just something to let you know. You may say, but it's silver, it's 7.78 grams. As soon as you add another metal to it, like gold, if it is over the legal limit for gold, which is 1 gram, you then have to get that hallmarked, even though with the majority of silver, gold embellishment, have to have it hallmarked. Yes, Louise.
Good, okay. Good. Wendy says, vermeil is a thinner coating of gold on sterling silver.
Yes.
Sandra says, I use gold solder for the gold balls, but they are right beside the silver balls, which have silver solder.
You'll be all right. Yeah, again, solder will always stay between two surfaces. So if you've got your ring there and you put a gold ball here, the solder is going to stay by here. The solder isn't going to go and go anywhere else. It likes to stay between the two areas. If you have a silver ball here and you have silver solder, the silver will stay here. The problem that you're going to get is that if these balls get too close to each other, if you want to solder them side by side and you have silver solder by here, there may be a chance that that silver solder will spread up a little bit onto the ball, and it may touch this ball and then it'll want to join here as well. So you may find you may have a bit of silver solder down the bottom here, or likewise with the gold, you may find the gold want to move up and cover the ball, and if it's too close, so always try and have a gap between your balls.
The divots are quite good, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely.
Because the solder kind of wants to stay in the divots, but then I suppose the flip side of that is if you sweat solder this solder into the divots, it kind of hides the divot as well.
Yeah. And you get a better contact between the two.
Yeah, more surface area there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Jane is saying, I have some texture plates but only have a small Durston roller, and the texture plate goes over the parts. I can still use the texture plate or not? And the texture plate goes over the parts. Can I still use texture plates or not? Or can I protect the groove part? The groove part. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, you can. What I like to do when I have a texture plate is get some closed cell foam. You can buy it on Amazon, A4 sheets. It's black, it's 2 millimeters thick. Closed cell foam. C-L-O-S-E-D, closed cell foam. And what I like to do is you have your texture plate. Yep. You then perhaps will have your piece of metal on top of your texture plate. So this is your silver. Then what I do is get your closed cell foam, and I would put that on top. I fold it over so you have a bit of a sandwich that does that. Okay. So this is your closed cell foam, and then I wrap all that then in a little sandwich of white paper or ordinary paper. So your silver and texture plate is in the middle of a sandwich which comprises of paper, there, closed cell foam, silver, texture plate, closed cell foam and paper. And that keeps everything together and also protects your rolling mill. So now you're going to be passing this through, and here's your rollers down here perhaps, this way, there we go. And because your texture plate and your silver is within the flat part here, and perhaps your texture plate is a little bit wider, you've got protection here with the closed cell foam and the paper. So there's going to be a distance then between that and the texture plate and the silver, so it should not harm these rolls. Plus, it doesn't matter too much about these surfaces because they don't really matter. These are the surfaces that matter on the V grooves, so you can still use it. Some people will just put silver and texture plate in straight away. I would never do that. Use your closed cell foam to allow that little bit of cushioning, and the paper holds it all together, stops it all moving around. Yes, Lou.
Good, that's it, I think.
Excellent.
Let's have another question though. Should we just...
Yes.
How far did we get? No, I don't think we've got any more questions. Thank you, Claire. Great. Okay,
good.
Cool.
Excellent.
Please sponsor us. I know we're going on a bit, but yeah, if you guys sponsor us, then I can't back out then.
So atb.yt/run. And that will tell you all about the Silversmiths, Joseph Silversmiths charity. And you can sponsor us. We would love you to sponsor us. It'd be absolutely amazing if you could. And don't forget, September the 1st, September the 2nd at Olympia, Louise and I are going to be on the HS Walsh stand. It's going to be a good show because you've got HS Walsh, you've got Betts, and this year, for the first time in a long time, you've also got Cookson's. So you've got 3 tool companies there. So come along. Obviously the Walsh stand is going to be the best because he's got the best people on it, like Louise and myself there. So come along and say hello. We may have some freebies to give away if you come along.
Well, you have to bring some now that you said that.
Yeah. There will be some freebies to give away. So come along, get your ticket. It's a bit of an ordeal to get your ticket, but prepare yourself with something like a digital business card. Make sure you got your passport or your driver's license because you have to upload that. and just please come along if you can. We would love to see you, love to meet you, love to have some photographs taken. We can put on social media and all that as well.
Good.
Excellent. Shall we go?
Yes. Thank you so much again to our anonymous sponsor.
Thank you so much.
I can't quite believe I'm doing it, to be honest, because it's different for you. You were always sporty in school, weren't you?
No.
You did cricket. You did the
sport.
marathon when you were like 18, but I was always the geeky kid who never went to. I never went to the PE. In fact, my old PE teacher, I shouldn't say my old PE teacher, my PE teacher from when I was in school, comes into the shop, Karen, and I can't wait to tell her about this because she won't believe it.
But again, I did the marathon when I was 18. Purely because I knew later in life I wouldn't do it, or I wouldn't have the ability to do it, or I wouldn't have the time to do it. So I thought I will do it when I'm 18, and I did it in the holidays before ending school and starting uni. And I didn't do any running for the last week leading up to it because I was in uni and I was getting drunk.
Well, they do
every night.
say that you, like the week before, part of the plan is we don't run the week before, and I guess the idea
consumed
of that
a lot of alcohol that week because obviously being the first week in uni, you go to all the ying tongs and whatever it is and down the pub and you get absolutely plastered. So well, it wasn't a great week leading up to it. We don't behave like that anyway, do we? So but the point is, it's not something I ever thought I was going to do. No. And it's partly because of May, the lady I've been working with, who was helping me with the training, who was a massive source of inspiration. And yeah, it just goes to show that things, honestly, if you told me a few years ago I'd be running the Cardiff Half Marathon, I would say there'll be people living on the moon before that comes to fruition. And here we are doing it. So it goes to show, doesn't it, that, yeah. There are people living on the moon, the clangers. Andrew, we've had Finger Mouse, we've had the clangers, Pinocchio. I think it's time to go home, isn't it? All right, everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. Yeah, look out for our social medias. We had an email go out to all at the bench members to say we're going to be at the jewellery show. So please come along if you can. We would love to see you. But in the meantime, Louise, let's say goodbye. Goodbye. Sponsor us. Everyone take care. Enjoy.